The curse of consumption. This is on Imagination with a Healing Garden. Consumption is an extraordinarily amazing thing. It comes from the logic of dichotomy. Dichotomy in logic is A and not A. Now, this is where a lot of people struggle with this concept. They think A or B. No. You do not need a placeholder. You do not need B. You can have A without B. You can just have A or not A. What this means is, imagine a glass with water. I'm going to put water into the glass. Now, there are two components in the glass now, water and not water. It is 100% a ratio. The entire glass full is called 100% of water. We're going to call that A. And if I pour out 50% of that water, you are going to have 50% of A, water, and 50% of not A. I can pour out more water. Let's get down to 25%, and you will have 25% of A, and then you will have 75% of not A. This is dichotomy. Now, if I put oil in there, let's call oil B. So now you have A and B, but that does not mean you have to have A. Let's just remove the oil. Let's just look at the water. Now you have water and not water. One could argue that B is also not A, and that would be correct, absolutely. But we're not talking about putting a B in there. We are just looking at the concept of not A, because this is really important for you to understand consumption. So when you have love, that is A. A is love. A is the 12 ethics. When you have the 12 ethics, you get love. The more ethics you have, the more love you have. There are 12 ethics. When you combine these 12 ethics, you have love. A. The opposite, the absence of love, is fear. Fear. Fear is not A. If you have 100% of love, then you have 0% of fear. If you have 50% of love, you have 50% of fear. Fear is consumption. Fear is 100% consumption. Fear, I also like to call it something else called possession, because the more you lack love, the more you have a desire and a need to possess. But furthermore, the more love you have, the less you are possessed by your emotions. The less love you have, the more possessed by your emotions you are. Have enough of that and you become obsessed until you are possessed. The road of this is literally jealousy. That's stage 2. The first stage is worry. Worry is the first stage of fear and or consumption, because it consumes you. If you nurture fear, then it's going to grow. If you nurture love, then the fear will shrink, because it's a dichotomy. This used to be called something different about 2,000 years ago. We called it the dichotomy of good and evil. Good came from the word, or evolved into the word God, and devil came from the word evil, which were metaphorical for good and evil, God and devil, love and fear, the dichotomy of good and evil, love and fear. Today, it has another name, narcissism. Narcissism is 100% fear. It is 100% consumption, which is why all narcissists hoard control, because they are seeking to possess what they don't have or understand, love. So they seek out the possession of to obtain something that they don't understand. And the more you seek to possess, the less love you have. And that is why it consumes you until you have nothing. This is consumption. But it is something else. It is Mother Nature's karma. Mother Nature has the 12 ethics. They belong to her. I found them. I discovered them. I did not invent them. I found them. True scientists, true science is discovery, not invention. I did not invent the 12 ethics. They do not belong to me. I am an interpreter. They belong to Mother Nature. Once upon a time, the 12 ethics were known. The last dude who came across them was Buddha. Prior to him, the last dude who found these was Christ. These are the 12 ethics. Buddha only had 7 of them. He never made it past the 7th. Christ had all 12. I hypothesize, I have a really strong suspicion that Muhammad also had them, but I have to go back and do research. I have not done the research to solidly say that that is the case, but I strongly suspect it is, because you don't do what that man did without the 12 ethics. That being said, when you do not live according to the 12 ethics, you lose love. When you do not live according to the 12 ethics, you end up with consumption, fear, and narcissism. They are all synonymous. They are the same thing. That is punishment enough. It truly is. The problem is, if you do not know that consumption, narcissism is Mother Nature's punishment for not living according to the 12 ethics, it's not going to have the impact of the lesson, which is the problem. Are we all listening now? This is what the philosophers taught in Alexandria, was this lesson. Hey, if you don't live according to the 12 ethics, you're going to get consumption. This is how to live according to the 12 ethics so you don't get consumption. In the 4th century, we lost that. And then it got translated, compliments of the Council of Nicaea, over into a book called the Bible, which was then later translated into the dichotomy of good and evil, which was then submerged into the Christian story and passed all over the Western civilization. It was originally taught by Pythagoras and Plato and Socrates and Aristotle in philosophy, until all of the ancient academia and universities taught it regularly, which is where Christ went to school to learn the 12 ethics. And then he condensed it down into parables and stories for people to understand. But again, 4th century, all of that was taken away and we lost them, hence the Dark Ages. These things are really, really powerful, really powerful. So the more, and it's a ratio because it's a dichotomy, the more you live according to the 12 ethics, the less consumption you have. The less you live according to the 12 ethics, the more fear you have. So I am currently watching Death Note. I love Death Note. It's amazing. I have watched it many times before, but this is the first time I'm watching it knowing about the 12 ethics. So I'm all like, holy crap, I am translating this. So while I am breaking down Death Note, I am absolutely diving deep into consumption and ethical living power. It's a beautiful, beautiful study. I'm absolutely loving it. And this entire course on ethical law, natural order, absolutely partners beautifully with the show Death Note. If you have not seen this anime, holy shit, you are missing out. It is the most beautiful anime in existence. And that is really hard for me to say because I am a huge fan of One Piece. You have no idea. Luffy is my spirit animal. That all being said, Death Note 100% is the dissection of the 12 ethics versus the unethics. And unethical is a person who's not even trying, who has consciously chosen to abandon ethical law. They are criminals. They are 100% criminals. There are 2 kinds of criminals. There are the ethical criminal, who is just a very lost, confused individual who needs help. And then there is the unethical. I do not know if there is help for the unethical. I don't know. It's one of the projects that I am researching to figure out if an unethical can be helped. I don't know. An unethical is a person who has happily thrown away the ethics and have chosen to live without any of them. And they enjoy it. If you know an unethical, stay away. An unethical will, on purpose, use narcissism strategically to harm people. They are not narcissists. They are unethicals. A narcissist is an ethical who's really, really lost. Big difference. Big difference. I'm going to say again, Mother Nature's punishment for those who choose to abandon the 12 ethics is narcissism and consumption. It is literally a punishment for not following the 12 ethics. And it is merciless. Follow the 12 ethics and you cure narcissism. Follow the 12 ethics and you protect yourself from narcissism. Follow the 12 ethics and you step literally outside of a life of abuse. It's extraordinary. But in order for the lesson to take hold, in order for you to learn the lesson, you have to be aware of the lesson. Thank you so much. May the kindest of words always find you.